All right, so this is my comparison of a few of the cloud-based data architecture services that I found. I took the three biggest ones, the giants, and compared them, looking at scalability, how user-friendly they are, cost-effectiveness, and how they handle structured and unstructured data. I'm looking at Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure. Either of those. I was going to look at Alibaba and IBM. Alibaba is a Chinese-based cloud architecture service. They just recently got their start and don't really have a market in the US as much. And then IBM seems to be a stronghold, that like a very reliable service, but also very hard to research for some reason. Anyway, I'm going to dig into Amazon Web Service. So here, for their scalability, they are kind of a Wild West. They don't have an API to use. They deliver empty virtual machines, which leaves the scalability up to the creator. And they have the most data regions of any cloud-based system. So they have, I think, what that means is that it makes them more resilient. So in terms of user friendliness, they allow you to choose your own language platform because they don't have an API. So that's appealing to some. But the cons is that they are not very concerned about your expertise. And some of it is very complicated, and they use a manual approach to system monitoring. So you have to do the work in terms of looking at your system, and you need to purchase additional support if you need the additional support. But it is cost effective in terms of its pay as you go, but they also have not reduced their price in 4 years, and billing is confusing. So they have the most support of all of the systems in terms of relational databases. They have MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, and then they also have other non-relational databases for cache data and graphs. So this is what they have for options in terms of relational and non-relational databases. So for Google Cloud, unlike Amazon, they provide a framework, but it limits the architecture. And their strength is in handling large amounts of data with what they call BigQuery. But because they are mostly cloud native, it is not used for enterprise work. And their UI is more modern and simple than the others. It has automatic system monitoring, but they do have a high support fee. That seems to be kind of common. The only one that didn't have a high support fee was IBM. They had the best customer support. So they have some issues with billing. They're relatively new, so they're still working out kinks, but their billing is minute by minute versus Amazon's hour by hour billing. So that makes billing a little bit more accurate, but not by much. And Google's a little bit more expensive than Azure, but I don't think, again, by much. So for structured, they offer MySQL and PostgreSQL, and their unstructured is, I think, their strength. They focus on big data and searchability. Surprise, it's Google. So this is the graph that they have, that they use for how to decide what kind of system that you're, or relational or unstructured database you want to use. So for Microsoft Azure, their strength lies in just basically being a Microsoft product. It's enterprise ready. They're really gaining on Amazon in terms of how they handle data and big data. Like Google, they provide the framework, but again, limits in architecture. And their big focus is on hybrid cloud. So Amazon is almost fully cloud-based, so they don't offer any local data support, which some businesses don't like because they want to control it. So their user friendliness, again, because they integrate with Microsoft products, that's really where their strength is. But they are slow to update their products, and storage options are confusing. So the coolest cost-effective thing about Microsoft Azure is that they have a tier where downloading files is completely free. So if that's your business model, if that's something that you focus on, then it's going to be a huge cost gain to you. So like Google, they support MySQL and PostgreSQL, but they also have their own database system that they use. And then for unstructured, they focus a lot on data analytics using Azure Data. So for my conclusions, the web service, Amazon Web Service, is built for large-scale companies with technical savvy. They're not concerned with billing as much, and they offer the most database options, geolocations, and scalability, but do not offer an API. So if your company is one that is not particularly worried about navigating the architecture and have their own way of doing things and are massive, then I think Amazon Web Service is the way to go. Google Cloud is built more for an average user. They provide the framework, and Google is known for being a little bit more simple and modern, and their strength lies in big data processing, searchability. So if you've got more of a loosey-goosey business model, I think that might be the one for you. And then again, Microsoft Azure is built mainly for Microsoft frameworks. It seems like they're creeping up on Amazon in terms of data management, if this might be a good choice for you if downloading is your basic need. But that's it. Hope you learned something.